And we are going to go to our next guest. They're going to join us live here on our big broadcast. Welcome to the broadcast. How are you, my friend?
Hello. How are you? Am I coming through loud and clear?
You are coming through loud and clear. I love your background there on the old Skype, the old Skype-a-rooney, and you are making it happen, baby. How are you today, my friend?
Great. I couldn't be better. It's late Sunday evening here in Europe, and I am buzzing because next Friday, the 15th, my new album is coming out. And
Yes.
It's been in the pipeline for so long. It feels so good to get it out there because I've been dealing with supply chain, vinyl shortages, remixes, re-remixes.
All the
Giving up,
nonsense.
starting again. Yeah, you name it, we've done it.
All the nonsense that I'm sure you've had to put up with. So tell me a little bit about some of the different things that you've had to deal with to get to the point that you are going to be here in a view.
Yeah, sure. So this is what one of the end products looks like. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
This is for the super cool digital kids, CDs. So it's technology for the youth. It's my new album. But what made this a little bit more tricky was that I thought I would why just put it in an album out? Why not do vinyl? So why
That's
just do
awesome.
vinyl as well as a CD and as well as digital? Because there, you know, life isn't complicated enough. No, that's not red. 5 different color variants, and as you're going through all of that, you have to approve all of these test pressings. So you get this one-off cut of the vinyl you've got to listen to approve before it goes out. And then you're stuck in the back of a queue and you're wishing that Adele would stop releasing new records so the pressing plants could go make my record. You're hoping all of these things will stop, and you're on the phone every week saying, where's my album? Where's my album? And it finally gets here. And it's all coming out next Friday. And I'm unbelievably excited because we've been getting some great reviews and lots of radio play. It's taken off in a way that pardon the pun, I mean, it's an album about space travel. It's taken off, in a way I really didn't expect to happen. It's just lit up, which is really wonderful, really wonderful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, why space travel?
Well, I was that nerdy kid who built, a rocket, like a model of the Saturn V rocket, and I grew up around the time of the moon landing, so I was a big science fiction nerd. So, all of the obviously Star Trek, obviously Star Wars, but all of the other quirky British TV that we would receive here in Ireland, we would see all of really weird sort of puppet type science fiction and animated stuff, and
like the Thunderbirds and stuff like that.
Exactly, Jerry Anderson. Yes,
goddamn Thunderbirds. I seen them on TV the other day, and I'm like, the goddamn Thunderbirds. Yes. Thunderbirds, Doctor Who, all the craziness.
Yeah, so I was into all of that. And then a couple of years ago, with all of the anniversaries of the moon landings and all of this, I started seeing documentaries, and it was coming back to me. I was remembering why I loved all of this, the adventure of it all. And, the 10-year-old kid was like, yeah, I'll go to space. But this older guy is thinking, yeah, but my back, I don't know if I can really hack going to space now with this back, and my right leg isn't so good anymore, and it's a bit dangerous. I'll just stay at home and watch it on TV instead. It'll be a little bit safer.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's where it all came from, and I started reading the stories of the space race, like the hidden stories. The people who were supposed to go to space but didn't.
Yeah,
like Ed Dwight, and you start reading about the conspiracy theories and the stories like that. That the Soviets had sent cosmonauts to space, knowing they could never get them back. It's nonsense, but it's a great story. And you can go onto YouTube and fall down YouTube rabbit holes with this stuff. So I wrote a song around the lost cosmonauts who are apparently spinning around the Earth in their tin cans since the late 50s. It's not true, kids. Trust me, it's not true, but it's wonderful. Did you know there were two Italian kids who claimed in 1961 that they had recorded cosmonauts orbiting the Earth on their ham radio, and they said, "Yeah, we've recorded them, and we could hear them saying stuff like, 'Yeah, it's too hot, we're burning up,' and they said these are secret missions." They ended up with Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show telling this story. Of course, it was a complete fraud.
That is tremendous.
The whole thing was made up because eventually somebody got the tapes and said, "Well, let's put them on YouTube," and people are replying saying, "That's not Russian." So it's it kind
that
of
is tremendous.
Once it got onto the internet. But yeah, all of these stories started coming out. So that informed the songs, and of course, using synthesizers and drum machines and space travel, it all just works. It all just works together. So hence, the album is called Technology for the Youth. That comes from a Soviet era science and electronics magazine that apparently you still can get it, and it's this type of artwork on it, really cool. And you can go onto the NASA website and you can kind of borrow some of their artwork because it's all in public domain. So you can get like some of the manifests from the Apollo crews and so on, and you can pop them on your artwork. So it's just this whole wild series of stories that I've pulled together into this 17-track album, which is, I've been living it for the last couple of years.
Absolutely amazing. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here, coast to coast and border to border on iHeartRadio today, and also AM/FM, 247.com, TuneIn, iTunes, and Circut3 is with us today. Dublin synth pop artist. And
there we go. I can hear you.
So
my headset.
Hey, that's fine. No, you're good. You're good. So so this new album, Technology for the Youth, this thing is tremendous. Tell me a little bit about your writing process and putting this thing together.
Well, it happens in different ways. So let's take, for example, a song I wrote called Spacewalking. So I was goofing around with a drum machine in 808, and I just had it playing this simple rhythm. And then on one of the synths here, the Prophet 10, I started just playing some simple chords, just like this sort of thing. Big spacey chords, and, that's all going on. And my daughter, who, is an artist, just walked into my studio, and she started walking like this. She said, "This is like walking in space." And I said, "Yes, that's it. I'll do a song called Spacewalking." And that's where it came from.
That's great.
You just get these ideas, you grab them out of the air, and you hope it'll stick. Another time I was doing a live stream on Facebook and YouTube, just improvising. And luckily I recorded it because it turned into a song called Transmissions. Sometimes you get lucky. And then other times you're sitting there with a big legal pad and your pen, and you're grinding out the song because you're trying to get it to tell a story or get across a feeling or get a point of view across, and sometimes you just have to graft and craft at it, so it's a mixture of everything. But I waste nothing. Everything gets kept. You save everything, and it finds a home. So even one of the tracks that was a B-side on a new single was something I recorded 5 years ago. Thought, I don't know what I'll do with that. And I remembered it and figured, I'll stick it out as a B-side. And all of a sudden, it's getting hundreds of plays on Spotify for some weird reason. So it's a good thing to
hundreds of plays on Spotify for whatever reason.
Recycle everything.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Joins us live here on our big broadcast. So this is amazing that you've put all this together. We are going to play some of your music here in just a few moments.
Cool.
The one track that I've got here, Overview Effect. Tell me a little bit about this.
Ah, yes, the overview effect. So you saw William Shatner. He went to space, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
it was art, life imitating art. You know, in real life, James T. Kirk went to space. That's the American dream, right? It was just brilliant. But when he landed, you probably saw the interview he gave. He was incredibly emotional. He had been incredibly affected by this.
Yes.
And it is the overview effect is a psychological phenomenon that happens to people when they get to see the Earth from space, when they get to see just how fragile it is, that it's just this tiny blue thing in the middle of all of this nothingness, and you suddenly feel the need to protect it. It's the only home we've got. And they call it the overview effect, and everybody who's gone to space has experienced this. And it's an overwhelming feeling of realizing we've got to protect this place. It's the only one we've got, and it's so fragile. Yep. And it even happened to William Shatner.
It's amazing. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to place you on hold here on the old Skip Skype, and I will be right back with you after we play this track, the Overview Effect, and it's here on the big
Tiny fragile ball of life, be my only friend tonight. Learn to see it all from here. The overview effect is clear. Let me take you to the moon. Let me take you to the stars. This is not the end. We haven't traveled far. Let me take you to the moon. Let me take you to the stars. This is not the end. We haven't traveled far. Starman flying high tonight, safe within his satellite. Look beyond the atmosphere. Paper thin, no frontier. Let me take you to the moon. Let me take you to the stars. This is not the end. We haven't traveled far.
That
The overview.
is the overview effect. We are going to go back to our guest. He is going to join us live here on our big broadcast. And the fantastic Circuit3 with us today here on our big program. And you are amazing, my friend. That tune is badass.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. Sometimes you get lucky with a song, and you just get the butterflies when you know, oh, I've got something new. It's good. It's good because you have to write 9 or 10 songs to get to that one good one.
Yes.
You kind of have to just go through the mill, and you know, like with your craft, you try different things, different formats, and some stuff works, some stuff doesn't, and then you hit on something, and then that's it. You mine that gold when you find it. So yeah, it was very satisfying to finish that. You probably heard there was a lady singing with me, Alessia Turcato, who's an Italian singer. I discovered online, and she's just got the most amazing voice. I was able to send her the track and the lyrics I just emailed them to her and said, look, what do you think you can do with this? And she just nailed it in one take. Just crazy talented.
That is awesome. Now, your music is amazing. How do we get your music online and help contribute to everything that you're doing?
It's available in all record stores, bad record stores, but preferably if you go to circuit3.bandcamp.com, you'll be able to access it there. So if it's circuit, the word circuit, and then the number 3. So if you go to circuit3.bandcamp.com, I'm all over YouTube, I'm all over social media, but if you go to Bandcamp and look for me there, that's the best deal for the artist, because Bandcamp does a really fair deal for musicians and people who put out their music. And the label that I'm working with in the UK, they do a really fair split. So it means that I can afford to make another album after this one, which is great, unlike the old school labels who don't really leave you with much pocket change. And it's available on the CD and digital, and of course the beautiful vinyl. But I have to warn folks, it's been available. I have a mailing list, like a fan mailing list, and it's been available on pre-sale for a few weeks, and we're actually running low now, which is great news for me because they're taking up a lot of space in there and they'll be shipping out soon. But it's bad news for anybody who leaves it too late, because we did this thing with all the different colored vinyls, and collectors have gone crazy for this. They love, they want to get the full set. So people have been getting them, and they look so pretty.
That's pretty badass.
And if you want to, you can get it. We do digital, of course. So if you're one of the cool kids now who does downloads only, not my thing. I prefer vinyl. You can get it on digital too. I have a YouTube channel, so you can find me on YouTube, Circuit3, and you'll see there's a couple of videos up there, View Effect, and for the previous single, Future Radio. And I would suggest if folks follow me on Twitter, Circuit3 Music, or maybe find me on Facebook, because I will be announcing some live stream internet shows in a couple of weeks. So through the pandemic, when people couldn't go out to clubs and see live music, I was doing shows from my studio here. I've got little cameras dotted around the room, and I was performing live, and people from everywhere, obviously across the US, coast to coast. We had folks getting up for their breakfast in Australia because of the time difference. They were like, there was one guy on the chat saying, "I'm having my breakfast, man. This is great." I've got folks in Canada, all across Europe, especially Sweden and Germany. Yeah, let's hear it for Canada.
That's right.
So it's the whole playing live online is great. Plus, there's no queue for the bar. You can have your favorite drink beside you, and you don't have to worry about standing behind the tall guy in the crowd. You'll never be stuck there if you're watching these shows online. So it's the best seat in the house. So I'm going to be announcing a couple of shows. So I recommend people check me out on social media also. So circuit3.bandcamp.com.
Well, you have been amazing, my friend. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for bringing us some amazing music. And thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule and your busy evening to chat with us. You're amazing, and we'll have to do this again, my friend.
You certainly will. All my love to you. Take care.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. There he goes, the fantastic Circuit 3